everybody, thanks for watching the replay, and if you are, please swipe to the right or swipe up so that you can share the broadcast. Welcome Wanda, welcome Mandy. Hey everybody, welcome, welcome. Let's see what we can talk about today. Hi, let's see what we can talk about today. Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Second time we go around today. Hey, hi you guys. And Letitia and Nikki and Lisa. Love that you're totally working out Periscope. I'm trying. Work it. Yay! So, alright. I got inspired for today's talk, today's chat on the chat mail. So first of all, give me a 1 if you are doing some kind of exercise as well. Pushing your... I didn't get that. All right, so a 1 if you are doing something right now. Does clipping coupons work? That's not really exercise. Nice, nice, nice. You're walking too, perfect. Sitting behind a desk. Do you think maybe you could just get up and walk around a little bit? Pacing the floor, that's perfect. That's better than sitting at your desk. Cleaning is doable. Making samples, no. Hey, Eva. Dusting, that counts. Jackie's here. All right, so we were giving a 1. I did at lunch up to 6471 steps. Perfect. So you were giving a 1 if you're working out with me in some shape or form, meaning that you're moving. Move, extra move. House cleaning is definitely on the list. Walking is definitely on the list. Whatever you can do to just kind of get up and move the blood through. Get some circulation going, okay? I can't see what you're doing, so I kind of have to just assume you're gonna. But it's for your own good. It's not making me better, it's making you better. So how do you like the hearts today? Hearts are fun. She inspires me, hashtag. Because I was inspired today. I did a post on Facebook yesterday. It's kind of gone viral. It wasn't created by me. However, I did edit it to be a little more like me and a little bit more to resonate with my situation. And it was about how it was basically turning... I got snowflakes and the feminine suit coming up. Yes, that's it. The post is basically about taking a negative and turning it into a positive. How many times have we gone to Facebook and just totally get annoyed with people posting pictures about their kids all the time? Or people talking about their business all the time? Or people posting about their weight loss journey all the time, or their fur babies all the time. And so we get a little annoyed and we say, oh, if they would just stop posting about that stuff, right? Well, the post talks about how we need to spin that in a positive way, and it fit me so well. So when I saw it, I was like, I gotta share this. And it's been shared a lot. So basically it says, you know what? If you are sharing pictures, before and after pictures of your weight loss journey, I commend you and I applaud you for having the courage to post that publicly and share your journey with us. If you are posting pictures about your kids or your fur babies, then you know what? Honest, bravo for being an amazing parent or caretaker. If you're posting pictures about your business, then congratulations on having such success with your business that you feel compelled to talk about it and to share about it, right? And so one of the comments that I made at the bottom was, you know what, guys, don't unfriend somebody because you're annoyed by their positivity or by their journey or by their emotions or by their family. Don't do that. Because honestly, they're celebrating, and we should be lifting each other up, and we should be celebrating each other. That's what this world is about, is it not? Right? Lifting each other up. So, the thing, right? The thing that got me, yes, no hate, is in the comments, and for some reason, it is a public post, so I'm sure that's why, but because it's gone so viral, there are people that are commenting on it that are not my friends, and I don't know who they are from a hole in the wall, but it's kind of fun, because you're seeing a different dynamic of different people. And there's this one lady, and if you go see, there is too much negativity in the world. I totally agree. If you see the post, please don't mention anything that it was called out. I'm not going to name any names, but she made a comment about, well, can then you tell people to stop? And after this whole post about being positive about people's posts, okay, she says, then can you stop having people post about food all the time? Like, we don't need to know everything that they're eating. And I was like, what? Are you serious? So I kind of joked back, because you guys know my personality. And she came back at me. And I said, well, you know what? I said, showing those plates might inspire me to cook, because I can't cook. So seeing something like that might inspire me to cook. And she's like, even restaurants? And I'm like, well, yeah. And then somebody else said, well, it might inspire them to go to that restaurant. And I thought, boy, lady, you totally missed this. Bye, Felicia. I know, right? Oh my God. And the thing is she's not my friend, so it's not like I had to unfriend her or anything, and I probably wouldn't have. But I just thought it was so ironic. I'm like, okay, here we're trying to put a message across that in the world of social media, which we have no choice to be part of nowadays, it's being taught in schools. So that's Generation X is coming up, and that's who is going to be running things. So social media is just part of our lives now. And so to know that post was meant to be with some you can never, I know. And I learned that today, and I thought, you know, I'm sorry for her. And honestly, about forgiveness, I forgive myself for kind of judging her, because I was fairly judgmental when I first read it. I'm like, really, lady? Right? That whole bye Felicia thing. And I thought, you know what, Edie, you're all right. Her glass is muddy. I'm not even sure I don't even think there's any water in it, because she doesn't want to show any food. You know, I'm sorry, and I don't mean to make light, and certainly if she's watching this, I'm so sorry. But the message there was that we needed to make light of people's joyous things. I mean, yes. And she said there's just some posts that shouldn't be shared, and I agree with that, to the point where your dirty laundry should not be public. Deal with that on your own. Deal with that with your husband, with your family, whoever the dirty laundry is about, and take care of that stuff. Don't involve other people, because it easily can suck people in, and that's not fair to them, right? Celebrate success. Absolutely. You know, I'm going to share a story about this too. When I first started my Scentsy journey, I took off. I mean, it was pretty quick. And I was very blessed that people started joining my team within the second month of me joining. And so my business really kind of took off. And, you know, coming from my past and having had people tell me, you know what, Edie, you're not going to accomplish much of anything. Matter of fact, if you leave this situation, leave it behind. It's not kind, leave it behind. Yeah. you know, there was a lot of influence in my life that made me feel less than. And so for me to accomplish something as big as I did with Scentsy when I first started felt amazing. And I wanted to shout it from the mountaintops. Oh my God, look what I did. Look what I accomplished. Look what I earned. And I was accused of being selfish, self-bloating. It's all about Edie. And it shot me down a few levels. And the gratefulness that I have from that is it did teach me to be humble. Right? And so that's the blessing that I take from that lesson. But, you know, and whenever I see somebody doing that, when they're being so successful with Scentsy, or any of their business for that matter, and they're earning trips, and they're making big money, and they're going here, and they're being able to do this to their house, and do that, and spend money on their kids, I just celebrate that so highly for them. And a lot of times, I'll shout it from the mountaintops for them, so that they have the ability to do that. I've been accused of being too nice and cheerful. Well, and you know what? That kind of went along with it, right? Because when you're happy and other people are not happy, somebody needs to pull you down, because they can't have anybody being happy without them. And that is a very, very common thing. And so what I learned through that as well is that that kind of behavior typically comes from jealousy. Sometimes it can be a really close friend that's saying, hey, you know, you need to knock it down a peg or two because you're a little bit over the top. But I still feel that that comes from a bit of jealousy. I think that comes from a desire of envy, that they want to be or have what somebody else has. And so the only way that they can feel better about themselves is to bring that person down to where they're at, right? Need to run. All right, hon, have a great day, Lise. Behave. Go walk, and make sure if you do, run. Get some exercise in there. Very common. I learned to say to them, must suck to be you. That's not very nice. But I get it. You know, and I kind of just, I think at first I felt that I needed to have a response when people did that. They don't do it anymore. And I'm not sure if it's because at this point they've gained my respect or I've gained their respect, and they don't do it anymore. And so I think it's just because they realize that, hey, she can't be knocked down, you know, so it's not even worth trying. And so when people do things like that or did things like that, at first I felt like I needed to have a comeback, and I tried, and it always backfired on me because they would get defensive and that energy was feeding off of each other. So to the point where I just kind of smile and I say, oh, okay. And I just move on. And when I don't feed into that energy, just smile and say nothing. It drives them crazy. I know. But the reason that happens is because if you're not feeding that energy that they're giving out, it can't bounce back. It just kind of dies. Right? So if you're not feeding the energy that somebody is giving you, then it will fade. It will go away. They have nothing else to say. Yeah, because you're not feeding the energy to give it back, right? So they've got, the energy comes to you with full force, and you don't feed into it. You just say, oh, okay. And the energy just kind of goes like this. So there's no, yeah, and you know, it does take some practice. It does. And it takes some knowledge that what is being said to you is not coming from a place of love. And so you don't have to receive it. You have permission to let it fizzle away. You don't have permission to push the energy back, though, right? And I'm not talking about fights and all that kind of stuff. That's, you know, I'm talking about energy, words. You know, so you don't have permission to push it back, but we do it. And what happens? What happens when we push it back? Whew, they come back even stronger sometimes. You know, or maybe they come back with the same force and we give it right back, and then all of a sudden the momentum starts going And that energy is just flaming, right? So if you have the power and the know-how to just allow it to roll off your shoulders and to respond and say, okay, it'll kill him. It'll kill him. And you know what's funny is I have another story. But when my daughter was young, I taught her a lesson of killing with kindness. And it was kind of a lesson for me too, because I wasn't 100% sure if it would work, especially in the mindset that I was at. I had just divorced her father. And so I was kind of in that elated phase, but scared. You know, I was glad that I had left. Smile and nod, right? And remember, guys, you should be tapping or typing. Tapping or typing. My mom should have taught me that. I know. And so I wasn't 100% sure that it would work because I was in a bad place. I was in an uneasy place. And I thought, you know what? If I'm going to teach my daughter lessons, even if I don't believe them right now, I know that it's a good lesson to teach her. So why not? Right? So we had just moved in. Hey, Jace. We had just hashtag she inspires me and hashtag winter in the title of your Periscope. And it will allow people to do that. So I've got some good stories today, Jace. You might have to watch the replay. So we had just moved in to an apartment. My very first apartment by myself with my kids after my divorce, my first divorce, because I've done that twice. That's okay, Jace. We love you anyway. And so move-in day, of course it's, you know, there's a lot of commotion, there's in and out, the doors are going in and out and opening and closing, and, you know, boxes are being put on the floor, and I have my two kids, and my kids are 4 and 6 at the time. Young, right? So, late to the party, yeah. So, my son, we're like in the last pieces of bringing stuff in, and the kids are getting bored, and so my son has got his basketball, and my daughter's, I don't even know what she was doing at the time. I'm sure she was inside unpacking stuff because she got excited about that. And sure enough, during our moving, towards the end, we get a knock on the door. I open the door, and the gentleman on the other side is not a very burly guy. I mean, he's kind of short and stocky. Might have had a bit of a Napoleon syndrome going on, where he just thought he was bigger and better than everybody else. And he looks at me and he says, what are you doing? And I said, oh, hi to you too. Edie is distracted. My first comes. He goes, what are you doing? And I said, oh, excuse me. I said, we're just moving in. I'm sorry if we're making a lot of noise. And he says, really? Can you tell your son to stop bouncing his damn ball? And I'm like, what? I said, well, I will. I said, who are you? And he said, well, I live downstairs. And you're certainly making a great first impression. And I looked at him and I said, you did too. Thank you for letting me know. So I closed the door, and I'm fuming on the inside. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Like, I go into defense mommy mode. Like, don't you dare tell me what I can do with my kids, what I can't do, right? So I'm not saying any of this, but all of this is stirring inside of me. And my daughter, 4 years old, she's like, Mommy, he was not nice. We shouldn't be nice to him either. And I looked at her and I said, Riss, I said, honey, I said, we can't do that. I said, that's not how this works. I said, matter of fact, I said, I think we got a pretty good lesson to learn here. I said, why don't we try something? Why don't we kill him with kindness? And her eyes got like big. She's like, kill him with kindness? What does that mean? She's 4, okay? She's 4. And my son is sitting there and he's like, Mom, that's stupid. And of course, they were bitter, right? Because of the divorce. It was like literally that day that we had left the house. And he's like, Mom, that's stupid. And I said, you know what, guys? Why don't we try it? It can't hurt. And honestly, I don't have the energy to be mean to anybody. I said, we need to reset. We need to redo this. And I said, so let's try that. So for the next week, we kept running into, because it was a big apartment building. There was like 90 different apartments with different wings, but we all had one main lobby that we came into and a whole wall of mailboxes. So we kind of would meet people often. And we would meet him in that lobby. I don't know, it was just destined to be that we were going to meet him in the lobby every time we came home after school or after work. And every time, little Miss Riss, "Hi, I hope you had a good day." And she's just got so much spirit and spunk. She still does at this age. And Eric would be like, "That's stupid," under his breath, right? And I would just nod my head, or I would open the door for him and I'd let him through or whatever. So, that wasn't like over the top. Marissa was over the top, but that was funny because she was 4. And so, never a word. He never said a word. Never said a word to us. Anytime. No thank you, for opening the door. No have a good day yourself. Nothing. Like, pure silence from him. So, about 2 weeks goes by. That first week we saw him a lot. The second week we didn't see him as much. And so we go to Walmart. Walmart is like within walking distance from where we were living. And in the Walmart, there's a McDonald's. So very often, too often, we would go and snag some supper at McDonald's. We'd walk there, we'd grab some supper, and we'd eat it on the way back, or we'd kind of do a little picnic on our little balcony and enjoy some mommy-kid time. So after 2 weeks, we get there. Never had we seen him working at McDonald's. The whole time, those 2 weeks that we had gone, never once was he working when we'd go. And this Saturday, we go in, we go to order our stuff, we walk up to the counter, and both Marissa and I looked at each other like, uh-oh. Because he was at the counter. He was doing the register. So we're like, oh, okay. So we didn't say a word. He walks up to the counter. "Can I take your order?" And Marissa and I proceed to take our orders and give our orders. And he doesn't really say too much. We exchange the money, that kind of thing. And he's going to put our order on the counter. And he looks at my daughter and he said, "What kind of shake do you like?" And she's like, "Strawberry." So he turns around, he goes and he pours a milkshake in strawberry, and he puts it on the counter for Marissa, and he says, "Here, this is on me." We're like, what? I mean, in my head, she doesn't realize really what's happening until later when we've talked about this. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, that was just the complete turnaround. And after that, we never had a problem with them. Never. So I'm telling you guys, attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. How you perceive a situation or a person is totally whatever you put in your head. Totally. And Jace, you'll have to go back and listen to the beginning when I was talking about the post that I put on Facebook. You actually might have seen it. And how it really relates to our mindset, and how killing people with kindness is just, I don't like that saying because we're not really killing them. But blasting people with kindness is just an insane concept that actually works. And to this day, that made an impression on that 4-year-old girl. It has yet to make an impression on my 6-year-old son at the time, who is now 24. But yeah, that kind of made an impression. Plus, I used to talk about it a lot and often. So it does work. It does. You're killing their anger or meanness. Yeah, that's true. And again, it may be hard to be kind, but it's rewarding in the end. It really is. And you know what? If you tell yourself that it's hard to be kind, then it's going to be kind of hard. But if you say that, being kind is natural to me, and I'm sorry for you to be on the other end, because I can't help but be kind to you. I can't help but be caring. I can't help but be loving. And when you start to say that story over and over again, guess what happens? It's just who you are. There's no more hard to be kind or loving in a bad situation. It's in my nature to be kind. It is. It is in all of our natures. That is how God created us. When we were born as an infant with an innocent soul and an innocent mind and an innocent heart, all we knew how to do was to give and receive love. Where did that go wrong? Where did that stop? By human beings being stupid. That was pretty harsh, but that's what it is. You know, but the fun thing about this is no matter what was ingrained in us, no matter what was taught to us, we have the ability to change that. We have the ability to change our mindset. We have the ability to change our thought process and how we react to things. We totally do. And I'm living proof of that. Because 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I was a bitch. I'm sorry. But I was just nasty. Life sucked. And I was dealt a raw hand. And that was how I played my life. Every day. Every day. Woe is me. That's my Eeyore syndrome. If you read my story on my Sensi website, it's the Eeyore syndrome. It's raw and it's real and it's how it is. And I was able to change that through thought process, through mindset, through learning to be grateful and accepting. It's huge, guys. It's really, really huge. And I really felt compelled today to, that story of that post inspired me. Gotta run, talking kiddos. Okay, have fun. You know, it really inspired me to be better than she was being, because it was just beyond what I had expected. You know, there's always that person in the crowd that seems to like want to just suck everybody down. Say, you cannot be up there because I'm not. Right? How long have we been talking? Wow, I've already done 1.3 miles. Woo! All right, guys. I'm going to bid you adieu. I'm going to crank this bad boy up and we're going to get moving. By the way, FYI, my hip is doing better today. So, knock, knock, knock. I'm canceling my appointment for Friday because I honestly believe that it was this. And I'm so glad that I kept going and I didn't stop because it hurt. Because I really think that this is helping. I have an employee that likes to drag everyone down. I know. And you know what though, Joy? You need to not feed their energy. Because if there's no energy being fed to them, it's really hard to create it on their own if they've got nobody reciprocating. So that's the best thing to do, is train your people not to reciprocate. Make sense? All right, you guys, have an amazing day. Thank you for joining me and sticking with me on the chat mill. And we'll see you on the next Periscope whenever I decide to do one. See ya. Have a great day. We all try, yes. Yay. All right, guys. Have an awesome day.